Hello and welcome to the Dogs Code podcast. This is a show about the wonderful world of Dachshunds, their quirky ways and some golden nuggets for owners along the way. I'll be sharing my thoughts and experience. I'm your host, Katie Saywell, and I hope you enjoy the show. Hello and welcome, Katie Saywell here, and today we're going to be talking about welcoming a new dog and successful toilet training with them. So when introducing a new dog into the home, it's best to approach them as you would a puppy, regardless of their age. So if you've got an older dog, if you've got a rescue dog, just treat them exactly the same as what you would with a puppy. And this way you won't go too far wrong. You won't be making assumptions about their routines or their training, what may or may not have happened to them, what they have or haven't been exposed to. And that way you can help them adjust into their new environment quite effectively. So here's a comprehensive guide on how to help with toilet training and beyond. So frequent toilet stops, they are going to need ample opportunity to relieve themselves, especially in a new environment. And here are some pivotal moments where you are going to need to take them outside. So firstly, after waking up, so after they've had that nice little snooze, they're going to wake up and they're going to need to go to the toilet. Following meals, so once they've eaten, taking them outside. After naps, so after they've had that little daytime snooze or multiple daytime snoozers, they're going to need to go out. Post playtime, so after they've been playing with you or with someone else, or if somebody new has come round and met them, they are going to need to go out after a few minutes of meeting a new person and after any stressful events. So that could be that new person coming round. Bearing in mind that at any point anything changes for our dogs, they may need to go out to the toilet. These are just kind of the top ones. But looking for the signals, the signs and signals. So our dogs communicate with us all the time, as I'm sure you are aware. But if you're not, and if Dachshunds are brand new to you, if dogs are brand new to you, then these are going to be really valuable for you. So recognising the signs and signals that our dogs give us and being vigilant for these signs that indicate that your dog needs to go to the toilet. So if you are watching them and they make a sudden movement or they suddenly start wandering off, that's a fair enough call to be saying, I think they might need the toilet. Increased fidgeting, so suddenly scratching themselves, suddenly sniffing on the ground, circling, so when they're literally walking around in a circle, quite a tight circle with their nose usually down to the ground, and approaching the door, so trying to get themselves towards an exit of the room that you're in, and that would be age dependent. So if we're talking about an 8-week-old puppy here, that would be a little bit too much to expect from them. So what else can we do? Looking at creating a comforting outdoor space. Now we don't need to go and go to B&Q and build a toilet block or anything like that, but just making sure that the outdoor space that we have is comforting for our dogs, especially those that may have not been outside. So outside can be really, really intimidating for our dogs. There's lots of smells, there may be lots of sounds, and there may be other dogs or animals that have passed through your garden. Now, just the texture of the floor underneath our dog's feet can be a lot for them. So whether that's kind of stones and gravel, whether it's concrete like patio or tiles, or whether it's grass or soil, there are all different things that our dogs can be influenced by, and if they haven't been exposed to any of those, then that can be a scary time for them. For example, if a dog has spent all of their life in a crate and never actually been out on the grass, that's going to be a big deal for them. Not only is it going to really tickle their feet, but they're just not going to understand that that's where they go to the toilet. So helping our dogs feeling secure, so giving them a small area, and that may be a familiar area with some of their belongings in. So you might have some toys out there for them. You might just have if you're puppy pad training them, you might actually have a puppy pad out there with them to help them understand that it's okay to go to the toilet outside. You could use like a windbreak if you really wanted to, so the kind that you might have on a beach. Windbreak, just to have a little bit of a sheltered spot. Observing the garden from your dog's perspective is really beneficial, and that will help you identify any potential hazards in the garden. So a little bit of broken fence, a gap that they could sneak through, anything like that. really easy way to do it is literally get down on your hands and knees and have a look. And where are they likely to be squeezing out of or trying to get behind a plant pot that you might not be able to see them. And the other thing to do is transferring the smell and the scent from what they may be doing inside on a pad, or if they've had an accident on the floor inside, then actually taking that outside to the place that you want them to go to the toilet. Now, naturally dogs are attracted to go back and pee where they have peed previously. So even if there's an accident on the floor, put your hand in a poo bag, hold on to a piece of kitchen roll, soak a bit of pee up and take it out into the garden where you want your dog to pee over time. You can just rub it on an area. There'll be enough scent on that for our dogs to pick up on, and then just chuck the tissue away. And similarly to with a poo as well. So if they've pooed in the kitchen in an incorrect place, we're not looking to punish our dogs. Just take the poo outside and just put it into an area where you want them to toilet more. So a little bit of step by step for the toilet training next. So introducing the toilet spot. So taking your dog to the designated spot and just encourage them to sniff around. Try not to be too overexcited about this part. Just go out naturally with them, let them just sniff around, do their thing. Then use a cue. So as they actually go to the toilet, and as they are doing the act of either peeing or pooing, add a cue word or a phrase. So something like go wee or go poo or be quick. I personally use be quick and a poo poo, so really nice and original, I know, but it's really helpful later on. So this is in the initial stages of teaching our dogs to actually go to the toilet outside. So when they are in the act, that's when you want to add the cue word or phrase. And we want to look to praise our dogs. So when our dogs are actually going to the toilet, add the cue word and then reward them. Now we don't want to have a huge puppy pee party at this point, because we're going to distract them from actually going to the toilet. So a nice gentle good girl, good boy, and then you can give them a treat once they've finished. Otherwise you do run the risk of being peed on. And then allow them for a few minutes after they've been to the toilet to just sniff around, as that's what they would naturally do. Some may kick the ground up behind them, some may just wander off as if to say, yep, I've done my business there, I don't want to be anywhere near it. And if our dogs don't go where we want them to go, we can gently redirect them to the correct area. So if they start to crouch down or they look like they're going to have a poo in your flower beds and you want them in a different area, then it's okay to guide them away without being mean to them. So gone are the days of rubbing dogs' noses in poo and wee and all of that horrible stuff. We don't even need to raise our voices to them. We just guide them, and if you really need to, you can just pick them up and place them into that area where you want them to go more often. Be patient with our dogs and actually allowing them to hold their toilet habits, so their bladder control. So remembering that it does take time for our dogs to hold their pee, and set a realistic expectation. If you've got a young puppy, they're just going to need to pee naturally more because they're not fully developed. Keep a diary, so a diary of what time your dog has been to the toilet, what did they do, what time did they eat, and that will then help you to create a routine, and you'll know more frequently when they will need to go, and you should over time see less accidents happening within the house, and more should be outside. If they do have accidents, just clean them up. It's okay. Our dogs are going to have accidents, and again, that comes down to the expectation. So if they have an accident, then we're just going to clean it up when they're not there, and that's fine. And we don't want to be telling our dogs off, because then we're just reinforcing that by going to the toilet in front of us, it might be a scary thing. So then you're going to have an even harder time trying to actually get them out of the house to the area that you want them to go. So when our dog does go to the toilet right in front of us, are things that we can do, and it's really, really crucial, and I can't stress this point enough, to not punish our dogs. we really need to be taking responsibility for this. A dog in our house is a dog in our house. They don't know the rules, they don't know where to go, they don't know where to pee. So it is down to us to look and ask ourselves the questions of, did we miss the signals for our dog or our puppy telling us they needed to go to the toilet? Have they been left alone too long on their own? Were we actually supervising them? Were we actively supervising them? Did something change in the environment and we didn't take them outside? You can clean up accidents with some really nice products actually, and some things that I have used in the past. So there's one called Simple Solution. You can buy it from all good retailers. Amazon sell it. You can get it in like your household shops, so like your B&Ms, that type of thing. It's between like £6 and £8. But please make sure you get the correct one. So you're not looking for the one that helps them go to the toilet. You're looking for the one that neutralizes and breaks down the enzymes within the urine. If you don't want to use something that is off the shelf, you could use bicarbonate of soda and a bit of water, and you could also use biological washing powder into a paste and pop that onto the area. Now what I would always say is clean a much larger area than what you anticipate. So if they've had a little wee the size of a 50p, then you want to be cleaning the size of a dinner plate. And please be mindful that products on different carpets and different floor coverings may react differently. So please try and test an area before you go in with a product. If, for example, there are different... If a dog has been quite consistent in going to the toilet where we want them to go, and then suddenly there's a change in that, or there's a change in the amount or the frequency that our dogs are peeing, or if there's anything that we notice that is different to their normal, things like really strong smelling wee or runny poo or something like that, then it's best to really have a chat with our vets just to make sure there's no underlying issues going on there. And for younger dogs, we might be thinking more along parasites, and for older dogs as well. You know, they can all get urine infections from time to time, so it's always worth just knowing your dog and knowing their habits and their ways. So walking and going to the toilet is a big one. So not every dog will naturally go to the toilet out on a walk, because it's scary. It can be a really scary place, it can be a really distracting place, and they might not realise that they can actually go to the toilet outside on a walk with you. So to help encourage them to go for a pee when you're actually on your walk, a few things that you can do. So one would be have the lead on when you're in the garden with them, and that would just help to get them used to wearing the lead when you're taking them to the area you want them to pee. Allowing stop-start, so allowing your dog just to stop on the walk, and if they want to pee then they will pee, and again add your cue word in there, so be quick or go pee or go poo, whatever you're using. And choosing the right spots for your dog. So if you have been encouraging them to go in a grassy part of your garden, then I would look to encourage them to go to a grassy part of a walk as well. So it's not something that's completely different, and when they get their feet on there it will feel very similar, and that's often why they actually pee inside, because they touch the carpet and they think it feels like grass, so then they're like, oh, I must be in the right place, and then just toilet. If you are on a walk with your dog and they do go to the toilet, just wait until they're finished before you start cleaning it up, and that just saves them getting disturbed and distracted while they're mid flow of a poo. And just allow them to have space. Like, they do like a bit of privacy. Some of them really want to stare at you, that uncomfortable stare as if to say, I'm having a poo, are you watching me? And what they're really doing there is just making sure that they're safe, because it's quite a vulnerable position to go to the toilet in front of us, but also outside of their environment as well. The world that we now live in, through working from home and adapting to changes, so going back to the office or working from home, whichever way round, and there's a few things that we can look at doing to help us manage these new times that we're in. And I say new times, some of us have remained at home working, some of us have gone back, some of us are kind of doing the hybrid type working, but whatever it is that you're doing and whatever your routine is, there are some things that are really going to help for that toilet training to be successful. So the age-old thing I hear is, well, the door was open but they still peed in the house. Well, they will do. That's what dogs do, because they don't necessarily know where it is that you want them to go and pee. It is about supervision as well. So the first one would be closing the door. So leaving doors open can be really detrimental to our dogs' learning, and it can also help our dogs to hold their pee for a bit longer as well. Set an alarm. So it's really easy to forget what we're doing and also forget that our dogs need to go for a pee a bit more regular. So we might need to set an alarm on our phone every 20 minutes it might be to start with, and then going up to half an hour, 45 minutes, then to an hour. Thinking about your routine and what fits within your routine as well. Most of us can step away from our desks for short periods of time frequently. And having our dogs actually, when they've interacted with people, so if you have got visitors coming around, if you're in the office, if you've got new people coming in, when they have interacted with that person, take them out for a pee. Or likewise, if you're going to somebody else's house, when you get there, go straight outside for a pee with them. Well, obviously you're not going to pee with them, but you know what I mean. Going outside with them in the new house, because the chances are the journey to that person's house has been quite exciting. You might have gone in the car, or you might have walked. They might not have gone to the toilet, but even if they have, then when they meet the person inside the house, whether they know them or not, the chances are they might need to pee, because everything smells different and it's a bit exciting. So taking them outside in visitors' houses as well. And staying consistent. So the biggest failure that I see is when we aren't being consistent and the dogs are confused, the owners don't know what's happening with the dogs, and what we really want to do is set our dogs up for success. So the onus comes down to us to make that happen, whether that's keeping our logs, keeping our diaries, physically taking them out, adding the cue words, and really just sticking to a consistent approach. So practice, patience and consistency are always the keys to success, and certainly successful dog training and toilet training. I hope you found that episode interesting. I hope you've taken something away from it. Let me know your thoughts, leave a comment, leave us some feedback, and I will see you on the next show.